I've taken hundreds of transformational programs in my 20s, and many of them were transformational, and many of them truly did offer me tools, strategies, skills, philosophies, lessons, teachings that have shaped the woman I am today. I am so grateful for everything I've learned along my path, from my incredible teachers and leaders, mentors, and truly, when all said and done, the last year of my 20s, I decided to take a crazy fucking risk, a leap of faith, but fueled by a deep belief in myself and my potential. I committed to a dream that almost made me throw up when I pressed register. And that dream is Ironman. Only about a year ago, not even 8 months, 9 months, did I start to even compete in triathlons. I've always been athletic, played sports 3 seasons growing up. I love exercise because it makes me feel alive. It's mostly been my relationship with it throughout my life. But I signed up for this race because the first time I competed in an Olympic triathlon, I crossed that finish line never feeling more alive, a greater sense of achievement and purpose and fulfillment than I ever had in my life. And I was basically immediately hooked and signed up for another one just about 2 weeks later. And it was only the end of the summer when the idea started to pop into my head and become a real possibility to sign up for Ironman. Sure, the thought had whispered in the past, and I had friends who had competed in Ironman, and I thought they were fucking incredible. I was so inspired by them and the unlocking of that potential. And my little brother was the first to sign up, another one crazy enough to do this race. And then my fiance signed up, so there was no fucking way that I wasn't gonna sign up for that race. And so I sat at my computer and I stared at the button register for maybe 10 minutes, feeling butterflies in my belly, so many doubts and fears spewing through my mind. I could hardly stay in my seat. But what was louder than the fears, what was louder than the doubts, was the excitement and the belief and the trust, and most importantly, the will. So I clicked register, and so it began. I began this process of training for a dream that scared me fucking shitless. And there's a quote, I forget who says it, but if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And this one was totally calling me to my edge, to my boundaries, to the limitations of what I thought I could be, what I thought I could accomplish. So I knew I was in the right direction. And it's been a process. I'm still in the process, about 6 weeks away now, but it's been a fucking journey with many chapters. Sometimes there's incredible drive and enthusiasm. Sometimes I'm fucking exhausted and I loathe that I have to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning and jump into a cold pool when it's raining outside. It's the middle of winter. But I did it anyway. And what I've come to realize, and truly the words, the wisdom that has driven me every step of the way, is the Nietzsche quote: a man or a woman with a why to live for can bear almost any how. And so this quote had me really start to connect with, why am I doing this race? What's the purpose? What's the reason? What's the calling? What's the inspiration? What's the thing that is so strong inside of me, and it has to be inside of external, or else the will isn't strong enough. So what is that fire inside of me that calls me forth to compete in this crazy race? And it truly is the will to be a leader of my life, to unlock and unleash my potential, to see what I'm capable of when I commit to a dream, to see if I have the will and the drive and the passion to show up to my fears, to show up to my doubts, and to achieve an extraordinary vision and dream and goal. And I've always been driven in my life by purpose, by potential. And this race has really been the embodiment of that desire to reach mine. Not that it ever ends, but this is certainly the next iteration of my potential. More importantly, actually not more importantly, but also importantly, is I want to be a source of inspiration for other women. I want other women to know they can, to show up to their life powerfully in the driver's seat, to express and uncover resources and layers of resiliency and courage that they never thought possible, that I never thought possible. Because there's one thing to study the work, and there's something different to do the work, to show up to the work and learn the lesson that way. And that's why, of all the transformational programs, the hundreds of them that I've taken in my 20s, Ironwoman, by far, without a shadow of a doubt, has been the most transformational experience of my entire life. And I haven't even competed in the race yet. Because it's no one telling me how it is. It's no one giving me their own experiences and teachings and beliefs. It's me directly putting myself in an experiment because it's part of my purpose and collecting my own teachings, my own lessons, my own value, my own life. So I do believe that this race is truly one of the best metaphors for how to be with life and all the shit that comes up along the way. Namely, my broken arm. I broke my arm 7 weeks before the race. 7 weeks. Shattered it. Not quite. That's dramatic. But I had a run-in with some gravel, tipped right over and fractured my radial head. And this was devastating initially. It really was. I was hysterical. Sam took me to the emergency room where I had to get a bunch of x-rays and sat there and cried as the doctor told me I had a broken arm. And obviously the first thought that was running through my head was the Ironman. And the second thought was that I was still gonna compete. And that my belief in myself is so strong. My belief in my own body and resiliency is so strong, I knew I could do it. I had 7 weeks. Obviously, if a doctor, which they didn't, told me it was dangerous, it would cause long-lasting pain or injury, damage, I'm not dumb. I'm resilient. And so it fucking hurt for a couple of days, that's for sure. And I couldn't really move much. And I decided, because it really is just about deciding that I was going to compete in that race, that I was going to still train and get resourceful, and maybe the race was going to look different than I thought it would, because I'm not hopping in the pool for at least 3 or 4 weeks. So I started biking when I could, first on the recliner bike, not using my arms at all. I went on long walks, listened to motivating Ironman videos. And then the last couple of days, I went on the regular indoor training bike. That feels fine, biking with one arm. And right now, I'm on my first run, just 1 week later. I've been running for about 40 minutes, and my arm feels fine. I also decided I would take healing into my own hands by scheduling an appointment with an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, Reiki healer, taking a bunch of herbs and collagen to try to heal my bone faster. And I wake up every day asking my arm what it needs. What are your limits today? What are you capable of today? And I listen. And in 1 week, my arm feels like an incredible difference. I'm honestly shocked by the resiliency of my body and the influence. I have to believe that my own certainty and trust and belief in myself got me here too. And that it would have been easy for me to get hijacked by fear and doubt, to give up, to listen to what a lot of people even said to me. Are you sure about that? Is that a good idea? Maybe it's time, maybe it's your body telling you that it's time to slow down. And I know it's all coming from a positive intention. Maybe, I think. And I didn't listen to that shit. And I trust myself enough to know if I'm pushing my boundaries and if I'm just fueled by my dream, fueled by resiliency, fueled by my courage to show up to my training a little bit differently, but still do the work to get me ready for Ironman. So 6 weeks to go. I feel more inspired than ever, ready to go and show myself and the world what Talia Guten